to Wednesday night. Every sports fan in America was texting each other, "Are you watching this? Are you watching this?" They were talking about the Pacers' comeback. But Michael Wilbon was texting me about Northwestern's women's golf team winning our first ever national championship.
It is so cool. A place where you can, as Greedy knows, play golf about 4 months a year if you're lucky. They're all the cold weather schools that I know Purdue did it. But this extraordinary to beat Stanford with Condoleezza Rice in her Stanford gear, standing there watching this. Inspiring them. We took down Stanford and won that national championship. And by the way, lacrosse Green in the Final Four, women's lacrosse playing today. How about if we win 2 national championships in a week?
What we do. That's what we do. The Purple Pride runs deep.
Defending field hockey. Must have beaten Duke in there somewhere.
There's no need to involve us. I'm letting you guys have your moment.
You know, it's collateral damage.
It's the whole thing today. My hairline, our golf team, everything.
They never had a chance. Congratulations to the women at Northwestern Cup again. It was a thrilling and a bunch of clutch putts to get it done at the end. Okay, back we go to the Garden. More or less for tonight at MSG. It'll be rocking for game 2. Let's get some numbers from the crew. Wingman, Jalen Brunson, points plus assists tonight. The total is 37.5. Do you think he goes more or less?
I got to go over on that because I think Brunson is going to be full power tonight, knowing how important this game is. And I know there's concern about fatigue, but I just want to point out, because of foul trouble, he only played 38 minutes, which is about his average in game 1.
Yeah, despite the overtime. J. Will, Karl Anthony Towns, who had a very productive game 1.
St. Joe's McCutcheon.
His total points plus rebounds is 35.5. What do we think?
I think he's going to go more. Look, I think the last 2 games, Cat has been embracing physicality. Now, look, I know he still flails around from time to time. That can get Knick fans frustrated. But I think this type of offensive production, it will help the Knicks reach their ceiling. Like, he has to be special.
And then, Wendy, let's go the other side. Tyrese Halliburton, who made the unforgettable shot at the end of regulation. His total tonight is 24.5 points. Which way do we go?
I'm going under. This is a high number for him. He only averages 18 points. He averaged 17 against the Knicks in the regular season. He generates a lot of offense with passing, but he's not a prolific scorer usually. Of course, he did make a couple of big shots the other night.
If he's over that number, Knicks are in trouble.
Well, and then your buddy and mine and ours, Stephen A. Smith, is going to be quite upset. Here was what Stephen A. had to say when asked if the Knicks are going to bounce back in game 2.
Damn it, they better. They better. That's what I'm going to say. That's the answer to that question. At the end of the day, did you close? The answer last night was an emphatic no. They did not close. Am I worried about them? Sure. Do I believe they can still win this series? Absolutely.
So if you're watching NBA Countdown last night, Malika opened the show by giving Stephen A. bottle of Pepto-Bismol. Like a large bottle of Pepto-Bismol. And it was hilarious. They couldn't get it open because it was childproof. It was hilarious. But one way or another, that's the way everybody in this city feels. Like, for all of you watching across the country, New York only becomes like a small town every once in a while. The Knicks do that to this city. And right now, everyone is on edge. So, where do I start first? Mr. Wilbon, what do you expect tonight at the Garden?
I think the Knicks now need to bounce back to with some of their own bravado. And so I might take all the unders when it comes to the Pacers and what they're going to produce. I might take that. I see the Knicks playing, first of all, they didn't play well for more games in the Boston series. They won the series, but remember, they got outplayed a couple of times and wound up stealing games. They're going to have to play. The Knicks are going to have maybe their best game, J. Will, of the playoffs tonight.
I think they'll do it. I don't think they'll make the adjustments. I got to tell you guys, I got a big weekend. I'm then going on a plane with my wife going to Indy 500. Then I'm going to go to Prime 47, and then I'm going to go to Game 3 because I think Game 3 is going to be the one. I think the Knicks get Game 2. If the Knicks can get the first one on the road in Indy, then I think they have the series. But if they don't, I think they have to win the next 2 out of 3 games.
No one drops the subtle flex better than J. Will does, by the way, right?
It's a big weekend. It's a big weekend. Oh, you didn't. You guys got the subtle.
You've been to an Indy 500? Have you been
to
one?
This is my first time.
My
first time.
Let me go to the wingman here on this. The similarities between what happened to the Knicks in Game 1 and what they did to the Celtics in Games 1 and 2. I can't get that out of my mind, and I can't make up my mind what it means. What do you make of it all, Winman, going into tonight's Game 2?
Well, the Knicks are one of the greatest clutch teams we've ever seen. The only team that's better than them in this postseason might be the Pacers, so that's one thing. But what I would say to Knicks fans is believe in your team. They're so mentally tough. If there's a team that can handle being behind 1-0, it's the Knicks. This is their trademark, is their mental toughness. The other thing is they've been terrific on the road this playoffs. So even though they technically lost home court advantage with that loss, they're in position to bounce back. And you know that the Garden is going to be, rolling tonight. And what really changed my view of the Knicks is how brilliantly they played defensively in Game 6. That was a vitally important game because we don't know what would have happened in Game 7 against the Celtics. If they can summon that level of defense again, if that's indeed in the reservoir for them, they have a high ceiling. They just have to make sure they, as Wilbon said and Stephen A. said, that they've got to finish. The Pacers 3 times this postseason have overcome 3 possession deficits in the last minute of the game. That's unheard of. So don't let it become a 4th.
If I'm a fan of the Knicks, and I am, the number of games in this postseason that we have seen, like the win percentage reached 97%, and it goes the other way, are never ending. No lead is safe in these playoffs.
Also, if you're a player in that locker room, you're like, yo, we gave that away.
Yeah.
We gave it away. So if anything, there's more venom. You're more angry. Remember about the attention to the details that you need to
The Celtics, even before Jason Tatum got hurt, they couldn't do anything about it. They gave 2 away.
Yeah.
And they had to go into Game 4 feeling, down 2-1. We were still in control. I think the Knicks will. I think Indiana, how many miracles do you have in one series? But the Knicks are not going to have to, you can't leave it to chance.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's so much out there they left on the table, Jay Will, and they gave up 138. I think the Knicks season high on points allowed is 140. 138?
It was
Really?
an overtime game, but even so, this was a high-paced, high-octane, high-offense game. I think that favors Indiana based upon the pace and their depth. I think that continues to be an advantage for them the longer the series goes. In the meantime, as we continue, our green list today is inspired by Tyrese Halliburton, and the Pacers will run down the most legendary comebacks that we have seen in sports in the last 50 years. Plus, did you hear this? Fly, Eagles, fly. Saquon Barkley made a fascinating statement about his team. It has raised a lot of eyebrows. We'll see if it raises yours when you hear it next. Just get up on ESPN.
That unrelenting itch. When moderate to severe eczema is uncontrolled despite treatment, it makes you resourceful, not just a ruler. It's a back scratcher. So when eczema's out of hand, show it who's boss with Get itch relief fast, as soon as 48 hours, and get clear skin that lasts. Nemluvio works like nothing before, treating eczema at its core. Nemluvio blocks the signaling from IL-31, a switch that triggers key symptoms of eczema. It's the first treatment of its kind that calms the nerves that make you itch, soothes inflammation, and restores skin barrier. Do not take if allergic to Nemluvio. Serious reactions may occur, some severe. Tell your doctor about any medicines you take. If you experience hives or plan to receive a live vaccine. The most common side effects are headache, joint pain, hives, and muscle aches. Get over your itch fast and get skin clearance that lasts. Ask your dermatology specialist about Nemluvio today.
Here they are, the crispy strips. Long, tender, juicy chicken made for dipping. Or rather, double dipping. But why stop there? Keep going. New McCrispy strips now at McDonald's.
You could buy on your own. You could get a lender, get showings, get through all the paperwork, get an inspector, get into negotiations, get a stress rash, and finally get ready to close. Or you could get an agent who's a realtor with the expertise and ethical training to make home happy.
This is what joint pain looks like when you keep moving with Aleve. Just one Aleve. 12 hours of uninterrupted joint pain relief. Aleve. Strength to last 12 hours.
It's big, it's back, and it's only $6. Get the big box y'all love today.